Oh, thank goodness, finally a queue. Ooh, that took some time. Wait. This isn't a skip the cutscene now, is it? Oh my god, it skips the cutscene, cause I thought when you play New Game Plus that it wouldn't skip them. Oh well. So yeah, sorry, I noticed when I was watching my recording I had some audio problems, like my mic not picking me up, so my bad. I fixed that with some OBS settings just now. But yeah, and sorry if there's like no commentary on some parts, because obviously some cutscenes I just don't have anything to add, like it's just some character interaction or like, as we saw there. So I do wanna add on to that cutscene that some people were disappointed that we only got like the Banga and the Sea through the story, and not, for example, Numo or Viera or Ivalician Mughals. Of course, we didn't later on get the Viera and the Numo in Shadowbringers, so that's nice. By the way, I actually played Viera for a while. Not at the launch, but later on. And oh wow, pull it instantly. Oh no, it wasn't instant pull, it was I'm stupid. But yeah, I played some Viera, but the problem was that I just didn't enjoy the fact that you got so limited by your choices. You have no headpiece, and to me it's just really important a lot of the time to have a headpiece. My class. Well, right now I didn't have it because I'm doing story. But usually my glamours I use a lot of headpieces. For example, like playing red mage without the iconic red mage hat, like that to me is just a no-go. Though obviously some people don't care about that kind of stuff. I think I'm gonna talk more about the Viera later on when they actually appear though. So yeah. So about Rabanastre, it's kind of interesting that they used Mateus as like the first boss. It seems kind of random at first, but because of the way that the espers are tied to the Asians we have, it does kind of make sense, as we learn later on. Although I don't know if this would like really connect to Mahabreya, but there's some mythology behind Mateus. I think it was some Greek. I don't remember honestly, but yeah, there was a guy called Mateus the Just or something. Matthew the Just, something like that. But the real reference is that this is the guy from FF12. He's one of the espers you fight. Now the reason I say it's kind of weird to have Mateus, obviously, because you could have added Belias. Would have been a nice one, because Belias is the first esper you get in FF12, as well as Belias is a kind of an annoying boss battle in Tactics. Those of you who play Tactics probably know Velius or Belias. It was called in the PSP version that he was kind of an annoying fight, so yeah, Belias would have been kind of fitting, but we do get to fight him later on, so that's okay. Instead we get Mateus, and Mateus, oh yeah, sorry, we kind of go through this really fast because of the way the item level sync works. It's funny how much stuff you skip now because of that. I can do about that. So this is where we meet the Seek for the first time, and we also have the infamous Chocobos. Those who play Tactics probably know that you can literally complete the game with just a squad of Chocobos basically. And it's actually pretty fun, like Chocobos are pretty strong. You level them up. Choco Meteor is really good. And we're gonna get it. We're gonna see Choco Meteor soon here. Or was it later on? Oh no, there it is. The Choco Meteor. Yeah, boy. 91,000. Yikes. But yeah, that whole Choco Meteor thing, that's kind of a meme. Like, not like a meme, a little reference, a little nod to the red Chocobos in Tactics. And 12. So, I guess this would be a good place to talk about, like, the perception. What people had towards this set of raids. So, most people thought that this is gonna be heavily FF12 focused. Because the FF12 remaster was... I think it came out at the same time around as this raid. Or was gonna come out, I don't exactly remember. So a lot of people just kinda assumed that, yeah, it's gonna be a lot of just 12 references. It's about tactics and such. But fortunately, there's it was actually kind of the opposite. There was a lot of tactics stuff. And Matsuno actually did confirm it before the raid that this was gonna be more based on tactics than 12 and Vagrant Story are gonna be more on the sidelines. But obviously most people don't read that stuff. So yeah, that's kind of why we have, like, we're playing in an FF12 zone, but it's playing tactics music, and we have like a mix of tactics and 12 bosses. So that's cool. They're gonna do the same one for the next raid, but the last raid was pretty much just primarily tactics focused. So it had some cool Vagrant Story references in it too. And okay, so by the way, these espers, like, some people are a bit confused, like, why are they here? Like, what's the big idea? Like, why is Hashmal and Mateus? So these were people who, like, were Dalmascan citizens basically, who had come across the stones, and probably at some point they had come across, like, what, let me not fail this mechanic. That would be embarrassing. They came across the, like, the stones, the aura site / holy stones, whatever you want to call them, and they got basically transformed over time. These beings. So that's basically it. There's no deeper explanation than that. Some people are mega confused, like, why are they here? Like, are they guarding something? Wait, I thought... The hell is tanking it right now? Uh-oh, that buster is going loose! Oh, I got it. No. I guess our tank died at some point. But yeah, this guy is pretty... Obviously we're wrecking face right now, because we're kinda overgeared. But this guy, when this shit came out, like, he was just destroying people, like... Like, it took me such a long time to pass this dude. I'm not ashamed to admit it. So... These first two bosses were like, actually all of these bosses, like, were super cool. Like, This was definitely my favorite raid the moment it came out. I like this one even more than Dunescape in terms of like boss design. Dunescape had some cool bosses, but like this one just, to me, just blew it out of the water. Like some of these bosses are just, yeah, they're just next level. Next we're gonna see Rofo Kale. Now the thing with Rofo Kale is that, as some of you may know, he was in the files. But I'll take this. So Rofo Kale was in the files basically, and yeah, he was never in the game properly. He was just, yeah, in the name, but that's why it's cool that in this one they actually brought him like as a real fate for the first time. So he's kind of the first boss that isn't just a straight up like reference, because the first two bosses are just copied. They're literally like the models are copied from the 12 remaster, I'm pretty sure. What I also find interesting is that we have chimeras here. And they're like archaea, which implies they're Voidsen. But also chimeras, which implies they're from like Elegant times. Which wouldn't surprise me, because I mean Elegants were like everywhere, so... And being in Hard, like not really a far-fetched idea. And now we get into the Garamside waterway. Now this is, oh, I forgot to mention this, but this is really cool, like using the FF12 crystals. Played Yoshida and team. This was like, man, when I saw this was just amazing, like actually getting to see the Garamside waterway like this. 14. This place is massive, and of course get to utilize the trademark Stormglood feature, and you can of course read this stuff here. Might as well read the other one. Might as well. Oh. Yeah, it's kind of a shame that the swimming in Stormglood never became like... There was no underwater combat, for example, that a lot of people were hoping for. But, you know, it is what it is. At least we got like the maps and such. Spearfishing was mega disappointing. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. So, yeah. A lot of people, myself included, were thinking like, at this point, like, this story might be connected to like be like a direct continuation of like Tactics, cause so FF12 happens like a long time before Tactics in canon, right? In like sometime after 12, the civilization kinda regresses, and that's why there's not all that technology in Tactics. And so some people like speculating, okay, how does this tie into the Ivalice canon? But the moment you get here into Lesalia, it becomes really obvious that you know they're not the same. They're not the same thing, you know. This is just a FF14's inspiration of the Ivalice story. Kind of like the other things, like how Crystal Tower isn't the same, such. So that's another thing that confused a lot of people. They were like trying to make this connect to Tactics, but especially in the last part, we're gonna see how this varies a bit. The design on this boss is just really cool. I love this design where it's like part mechanical, part beast. It has like the wheels. It's cool. What else to say? And the boss also, by the way, this song is in from Tactics. If it wasn't obvious. Wait, let me... Oh, there's not enough space! Oh, there was. Let me change to English real quick. But yeah, Rabanastre was definitely a really this was a solid first raid, without a doubt. Oh, and this is also really cool. He's using like attacks from like Crush Helm from tactics like this. These are pretty much the same animation. I'm in the wrong place. Oh no one put markers, so well, I guess we're just overgearing it now. But man, I remember dying to this end raid so many times. Because you can see the bar fills up really fast. So if you had like people going to the wrong place or dying, it was really easy to die to enrage here. Like even now as overgear we got to 69. Nice. So and of course, I mean you have to remove your HUD when you watch it. Like I'm sorry, but I mean, how can you not love this like this? These are flashy FF ultimate attacks at its finest. And yeah, this chariot attack, by the way, was really annoying whenever a bard would just bring it across the arena. There won't be space. Okay. When a bard would just bring this shit across the arena, and this AoE heroes right now just cleaving the entire room, and everyone's just getting screwed over. I took aggro somehow. Yeah, that's Crush Weapon again. We're gonna see more of these attacks in the last part. Orlando and Agrias is gonna be used, some of them, but and of course Mustadi also has his arm shots and leg shots, etc. I don't have much to add to Rofakale. I just find it also cool, but as well that this arena here looks pretty similar to the save screen from Tactics. Or maybe that's just me getting that image. Maybe I'm stupid. Yeah. So this is the first kind of twist in this raid. Of course they're pulling it. Fuck people watching cutscenes, am I right? Yeah, this is Algus. Algus from Tactics, or Argoth if you prefer actual translation. And
descendants of House Beowulf, then by my sword shall I banish your souls to the deepest hell.
so yeah, this was a guy who was basically like his tomb, like he was brought from the dead basically by the and then he was transformed into this through the aura site. And it's funny because when I played this for the first time, I didn't actually recognize most of these quotes. Because I played the PSX version of Tactics. But these are basically his quotes. I'm pretty sure every one of them is from him. ESP translation. But yeah, I didn't recognize most of them. But yeah, this boss fight is super cool, and I love the fact that they basically used the phase 1 team from Ultima on this one. Kinda weird, but also fits, let's be honest. And the design with these bosses also just really incredible. Like the 2 masks. Holy fuck, we smashed those crystals though. Like the way he has the masks, like depicting different mechanics you have there. You should see it now. Yeah. So now I have to basically look at him, because he judged that I have to look away. But it was bullshit. Like this quote, for example, he just said, I think in the original, I think that's the one where he says animals have no god. Basically because he basically says in the context that the rebel says something like what did he say again? I go to remember the FF12 script, FF Tactics script right now, but basically he says animals have no gods in reply to him that like even low folk should have god to rely on, whatever. So it doesn't make as much sense in the original, like animals have no god, but this one makes much more sense. Of course, the way he flies up like that, like each body part fly. Holy shit, how many people are... Oh well. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing at other people when I play like a scrap myself. Yeah, this was definitely a like confusion to some people, like why is Algus here? Why is he getting why is he turning into a Lucavi? Uh-huh. Oh, I think I would rather not save you. Asshole! Oh, in the original game, this guy was kind of an ass. Oh, and of course the Tactics victory music. Just to you know, put the icing on the cake. Okay, so guess let's just watch this cutscene. I do also have one other thing to add. Do Rabanastre in a bit here, but I don't remember exactly what happens. Oh yes. Gamnan. Actually kinda cool in this game. I never liked him in 12, but this one is definitely less annoying, let's say it that way. Oh, is this the pun? The doom of the... Oh my god. I just love that. Like, makes such a shitty pun that he literally gets shot by his his boss. Keep it all you want, buddy. It don't matter to me. Oh yeah, this a reference tactic as well. Where, I think the Lita tells to Ramza that you have... He has something like, blame yourself or blame God, but do not blame me. Being naive and all that. So yeah, as I was gonna say before, like the fact that Lezalia was under Rabanastre like that pretty much debunks any theory that that this world is like connected, because it just makes no sense for it to be there like geographically, and the timeline also just doesn't add up in any way. So yeah, and pretty much Yoshida himself as well said that, or was in Matsuno, I forgot, but it was pretty much confirmed by the devs that they are not connected. Like they are connected, but rather they're not part of the same universe. Like they're different, different things. It's like, think of it like as FF14's adaptation of Ivalice. That is the scene where we find out real identity. Yeah, these explaining what's I guess more accurately what I meant before with the aura side not being the same. How we are expected them to. It's also what I said before about the person who about Ramsa who deeds were not recorded. I think it was kinda clever like naming them. Naming his children after them. Having them retell the tale. Ah yeah, Arazlan Durai. That was it. So this what Ramsay is explaining is basically the what happened in tactics. Again, like restoring the family name and all that, it kind of plays with similar themes to tactics, and that's why it's, if you enjoy tactics, it's really easy to resonate with this story. Again, that's why if you didn't, more trouble. Oh yeah, that's also where you find out that Alma has the Virgo stone, which is like already here you basically would know what would come to pass in the last set of Ivalice storyline. Just put the pieces together right then and there. Yeah, that was pretty much Rabanastre. So the one, like the thing I was meant to talk about as well before, but that Rabanastre was going so fast, I kinda struggled to stay on point. Was that so there are the Espers from 12. There are 12 Scions of Darkness. those are the Espers basically from 12, and they rebelled against the gods, and the gods banished them for their actions basically to like be sealed away, and some had purpose, like Belias was guarding the tomb of the unknown king and all that. And there was also a 13th one who didn't rebel, but he was deemed like too dangerous. That was Zodiac. Now each of these 12, 13 Dark Scions, they have a light equivalent. And these light equivalents have another name, and these are the name of the Ascians. So for example, Matthäus the Corrupt, if you check his Esper symbol, it's the same one as Lahabrea's, but inverted, or rather the Lahabrea's one is. And you will find out that he is indeed called Lahabrea. So that's how those Ascian names came to be. Well, not the Ascian names, because as we found out in Shadowbringers, they're basically titles for the council. But yeah, it's their origin there kind of ties into tactics as well, so that's a little tidbit for those who didn't know. So that's why I said like that's kind of like something you can say makes sense as to why Matthäus the Corrupt was the first boss of Rabanastre. You know, it's their light scion equivalent is Lahabrea, even though it's kind of a loose connection. It's interesting nonetheless. Why they chose the bosses they did. I made a minor mistake. I said that when I was explaining about the origins of the Ashen Council member names, I said that there were, I said there was 12 Scions of Light and Darkness. That's actually, there's only 11. Because I forgot that Ultima and Zodiac don't count as, like they're not classified as either, so that was my bad, there's only 11. Anyway, the rest applies, it was just a minor detail I got wrong. I kinda made a little mistake where I thought that I would be able to commentate throughout Rabanastre, but I forgot that it kinda, because of the item level increase, it's really fast to just people zerg through it nowadays. So I kinda, the content was going a bit too fast. And so about Rofo Kale, I forgot to mention his kind of origin. It's nothing like too special, but basically he's tied to the Sagittarius stone. He was a high-ranking general in the city's army, and he was basically influenced by the Duma aura site that was used by Algus. So if you played FF10, for example, I would say it's kind of similar to how Ultima weapon was born from Omega's like wrath as like a shade. I would like think of it that way a bit, not exactly 1-to-1, but you know, kinda can be used for reference. And Algus himself, so he was slain by the Lita, just like in Tactics, just a different location. Then the aura site activated. When we come in, the aura site activates and it turned him into an undead Lucavi who was just trying to get revenge. That's why he thought that we are Ramza, like he's like the Beol descendants and all that. But yeah, we put him down, so whatever. Fuck Argus / Algus, whatever you wanna call him. And I think for this one and for the next one, the next raid I mean, I'm just gonna do a little recap because yeah, it's nice as a little reminder. So what happened during the last bit was that the descendant of Orandurai, Arazlam Durai, he wanted to prove that the play he was performing about the Ivalician legend called the Zodiac Braves story was real through the Durai papers, but he disappeared during his search. So his children, Ramza and Alma, came to us, the Warrior of Light, for help. And we went through Rabanastre, basically the royal city in Dalmasca, and discovered that beneath the city was Lesalia, which was part of Ivalice. So it basically confirmed his Zodiac Brave story, the play, to be true. But what happened was that there was a holy stone, an aura site, called the Duma aura site, that was used by Algus/Argath, and he transformed into, as I mentioned before, this undead Lucavi, but we defeated him, and afterwards we had to exchange the stone for Ramzas and Alma's father's life, because he was being threatened by Bagamnan and his crew. They took his diary as well, which was needed to translate the Durai papers, and basically the motivations of the lizard dudes are unknown at this time. We don't know what they are up to, but we should be finding it out. Regardless, I'm happy with what we got, and obviously it only gets better from here because the next set of raids has even cooler bosses. I absolutely adore those bosses, and oh boy, the last one has some of my favorite bosses from this entire game, so I'm definitely looking forward to redoing them again. I don't know if there's much else to add. There's been part 1 of this series. Again, I'm sorry if I'm just kinda talking some random points without much rhyme or reason. And again, sorry for the audio issues at the start. I'm gonna try to make the next one a bit more consistent. Gonna try to have the commentary more consistent, and well, the next one is gonna feature more story as well, obviously, so it could be more interesting. But yeah, that has been all for this episode, so yeah, have a nice day everyone.